Hi YouTube, some call me Jim, and I'm creating this response to my response to Renetto because I got an email from somebody. They basically said in their email that they wanted some proof from me because you may have noticed in the video that I responded to Renetto with, I used as the keyframe the Ska Brothers cheat. And they basically said, can you prove that? And I thought it was common knowledge that the Ska Brothers cheated. I didn't think it was something that people had to take time to prove. But this person, honestly, I think genuinely wanted to know if I had any proof, any way I could prove the Ska Brothers cheated. And so I decided to do some math, and what I came up with is the proof of what we've all known for a long, long time. And I'm going to post that in this video, and then at the end I'll give some suggestions on how we can make this more known if this is something that you're concerned about and something that you care about. You'll see I keep looking down. Initially I was going to respond by emailing this person back, but I decided against that. I decided if one person is asking me publicly, who knows how many people are thinking it in their heads. And so I have written everything down that I'm going to read here, and I'm going to do this video based off of everything I've already typed up. You might also notice I'm talking fairly quietly. I'm doing that because it's late at night, very, very late at night, and my wife is upstairs almost directly above where I'm sitting right now, sleeping, and I don't want to wake her up. That would be bad. I would get in trouble. Don't want to be in trouble. So first of all, we're going to have to do some math here. So if you want to grab your calculators and follow along, that's fine. Otherwise, you can just listen to me. It's cool either way. Let's assume that every month is 30 days long. And I know that some months are 31 days and some months are shorter. February was a short month. But the Ska Brothers have been here since February, and so we'll just assume that all the days equal out, and there's 30 days in a month for the sake of our argument to make the math easier. So we'll take that, 24 hours in a day, that means there's 720 hours in a month that each one of us has to work with. Now, if you subtract from that the amount of time we need to sleep, the average human sleeps about 8 hours a night. And that equals about 240 hours total. And so if you subtract all of that, the 240 hours for sleep, you're left with about 480 hours a month that we're awake. So 480 hours a month we're awake. Now, that's a good amount of time, but let's keep going. Now this next part, I have to make a couple more assumptions. Making assumptions is the worst thing you can do in math, but I'm left with no choice than to assume things. And I think they're reasonable assumptions, and in some cases I don't think I'm making enough of an assumption. I think I'm giving Ska Brothers the benefit of a doubt. But let's assume that Johnny spends about 10 hours a week practicing or performing his comedy, making YouTube videos, doing anything related to the Ska Brothers comedy, updating their websites, their profiles on MySpace, anything like that. Let's assume they spend 10 hours a week doing that. I don't know if you can hear the train going by. It's just that late at night. But we'll assume they do that. And if they don't, they really need to, because if you've seen their comedy, you know it sucks, and they need all the practice they can get. So let's assume 10 hours a week. That seems reasonable. And let's assume that Johnny works 40 hours a week. So we've got working 40 hours a week, comedy 10 hours a week. That's about 50 hours a week. So in 30 days, you've got 4 weeks and a couple extra days. So that would add up to 220 more hours that we have to deduct from our month. We had 480, now we subtract 220 hours. So that leaves us with about 260 hours. So now keep following me. I know this is math. This is really probably boring to most of you, but let's keep following along here. So we have 260 hours left in a month when we're not at work or asleep or doing comedy. Now, again, let's assume that Johnny spends an hour and a half a day doing all the prep stuff. Waking up, the whole process of going from asleep to awake, showering, getting dressed, getting ready for work, eating breakfast, the actual drive to work, the drive from work, the occasional grocery shopping trip, doing any work-related things that you do at home, making dinner, eating dinner, yada yada. You get the point. So let's assume that it only takes him an hour and a half to do that in a day, which I think is a very generous figure. On average, some days you'll go to the grocery store and it'll take you 3 hours to do everything. Other days 30 minutes. But let's assume an hour and a half a day. If you do that, then we have to take another 45 hours off of our month, which means that we have left Johnny now with 215 hours a month that he can do with as he pleases. So, at this point, Johnny Ska has 215 hours a month that he can do with however he wants to. He can go on YouTube, he can go to parties. This is what we call free time. Now, Johnny Ska put his profile on YouTube towards the beginning of February, and actually, it's been exactly 9 months and 1 day. They just rolled over onto their 10th month here just yesterday. So basically, they've been here for 9 months and a day. They're starting their 10th month now here at YouTube. Now, 9 months. Now, we have to put all the math together now. You have a grand total of... Excuse me, I have to scroll. You have a grand total of 215 hours a month. You've been here for 9 months and a day on your 10th month. That means that you have been here, Johnny Ska. You've had a total amount of free time. Since the day you clicked sign me up, here I am at YouTube. Johnny Ska has had a total of 1,935 hours of free time. 1,935 hours of free time. And again, that excludes today, the 10th month, where after the first time he posted a video and joined the site, etc., etc. So, with that exception, basically 1,935 hours. Alright. Now, let's go to their profile page, and I'm going to put this up on the screen here. It's really hard to see this, because as you can see on the screen, they've made their text black, and they have made their background black. So they're basically, what's happening is they're trying to hide this. And so we'll go back onto their profile page here, and you can see that you can't really make this out, but I'll go to the next shot, and I've highlighted everything. I've taken the mouse and I've highlighted the text. You can still do that, and you'll see that as of the time I wrote this, and maybe the views will have gone up by the time I get the video, but as the time I wrote this and put this together, they had 182,764 video views. They've watched 182,764 videos as of the time I wrote this. Now, let's do some math again. I know we just got away from the math, but let's go back to it. Johnny Ska has watched 182,764 videos, and he's done this at an absolute maximum of 1,935 hours. Again, this is the absolute maximum. This is assuming that if he is totally abandoned having any social life whatsoever, and all he does is work, sleep, and YouTube, then he has had 1,935 hours to watch 182,764 videos. So, when you do the math and you divide all of this out, that means that for this to be the case, for this to be true, Johnny Ska has to watch an average of 94.5 videos an hour. It's actually like 94.458 something, but we'll just round it up to 94.5 videos per hour that he has to watch for this to be true, assuming that he has used all of his free time to watch videos on YouTube. Now, I'm going to go again, and I'm going to say again what would have to be possible for this to take place. He couldn't have a life whatsoever. He couldn't go to parties. He couldn't have any friends. He couldn't make any phone calls to anybody unless he's doing it while he's watching videos, because he would literally be doing nothing but watching videos. Every second he's not getting ready for work in the morning when he has that time between breakfast and leaving for work, he's on YouTube. When he gets home, the first thing he does is fire up YouTube, and assuming it takes zero time to get to the actual videos, which with all the 500 server errors and everything else, that's impossible. But assuming like the computer's already running and up, and when he gets home, all he has to do is click play. Every second that he is home, he is watching YouTube videos. He would have to be watching a minimum of 94.5 videos an hour. How realistic is that, really? I'm a YouTubeaholic. I watch YouTube tons and tons. I work from home. I spend way too much time on YouTube, and I don't even do that. But let's assume that he has no social life. He obviously has no sense of humor. Maybe his social life and his sense of humor are both hanging out together, wherever that is. So, 94.5 videos an hour. Let's assume YouTube is perfect. Let's assume that it treats him perfectly, that there's no 500 errors, there's no other server lag problems, there's no screw tube issues. None of that's happening. We know how realistic this is already. This is totally unrealistic. But let's assume that. Now, if you make that assumption, if you assume that it's possible that he can literally just watch one video after another, click, 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 that means that he's watching a video every 38 seconds. Every 38 seconds he'd have to be watching a video if this is true. That's right. And this is assuming his whole life is devoted to YouTube again. 100% of everything he does is devoted to YouTube. He eats, breathes, sleeps YouTube. Literally spends more time on YouTube than anybody, I think, out there. Assuming that, he has to be watching a new video every 38 seconds. And we're not just talking he can only watch a video for 38 seconds. That means he has to be watching a new video every 38 seconds. Now, let's think about this realistically. How long does it take from the time that you click a video to the time that video loads up, that video buffers, and that video starts playing? Most of the time, 7 to 10 seconds, give or take. So, assuming 10 seconds, that means that he actually only has 28 seconds to watch every video that he's ever watched. How many 28-second videos are there on YouTube, really? And again, this is an average, so, he might watch one video for 10 minutes, but then to make up for that, he can only watch, 100 videos for a couple seconds. So, I think you're seeing where this is going quite easily. Plus, in the remaining 28 seconds he has after the video is loaded, he's also got to be finding his next video to watch. Because as soon as that 38 seconds is up, he needs to be loading and ready to watch the next video. Because he only has 38 seconds per video. So here's the bottom line. Here's the scoop. There is no reasonable way to believe that Johnny Ska has really watched all the videos that his profile says that he watched. He's got the evidence right there saying he has supposedly viewed this many videos. There's no way it's possible. Now, he couldn't do this. I mean, there's just no way. The average video on YouTube is, a couple minutes long maybe? I mean, up to 10 minutes for everybody. And I know some people who do that. And he's probably watched his own videos at least once or twice, and those videos are way too long. I don't even know how long they are because they hurt. They feel like they're an hour long, but they're way too long. This feels like it's way too long already. Moving on. So the bottom line is there's no way he could do this on his own without some sort of mechanical assistance from some sort of bot, some sort of crawler, loader, or something like that. And now here's the kicker. Let's move on to the rules. Now, Renetto apparently was unaware of this, but I actually read the terms of use and I knew what they said. And so we're going to look at the terms of use here. Read along with me. I'll put this on the screen. Part C of Section 3 of the Terms of Use. You agree not to use or launch any automated system, including, without limitation, robots, spiders, offline readers, etc., that accesses the website in a manner that sends more requests messages to the YouTube servers in a given period of time than a human can reasonably produce in the same period of time using a conventional online web browser. Okay, now, while the screen's up, look at the last part again. That sends more request messages to the YouTube servers in a given period of time than a human can reasonably produce in the same period using a conventional online web browser. So what's this mean in simple English? Basically, it means that if you're doing what Johnny Ska has to be doing, you're breaking the terms of service with YouTube. If you're using something that is loading videos and watching them and viewing them more frequently than what a normal person can do, then you're breaking the terms of service. I don't know about you, but I can't watch and take in any video on YouTube in 28 seconds unless it's those very, very seldomly released videos that are very short and very to the point. It's just not going to happen. And so there is no way. Let's look at this again. The bottom line is that there is no way Johnny Ska could have really watched the amount of videos that he has. None whatsoever. He is using some sort of mechanical system. That is without a doubt. And what he's doing is against the rules. So here's what I'm asking. If you're concerned about this, and if this is something that means something to you, if you don't like cheating on YouTube, let's get something done about this. Let's get this taken to the attention of YouTube. I want you, if you agree with what I've said, if you think that this is something that's wrong and something that YouTube should take notice of, I want you to comment on the video. Go down there, post a comment on this video, say something just to say, hey, I agree or anything. We want to try to get this on the most commented list. I want to get this on the most viewed list. So watch the video and don't do a refresher program or anything like that. Just watch the video and tell everybody you know to watch the video. Send them to the video. Put it into your favorites list. Let's get this on the most favorited list too. Let's try to get this up there. Let's try to get this video as far up there as we can so that YouTube can see the problem, can see that we have proof, conclusive, undeniable proof that there is a cheater on YouTube so that they can address the situation and they can get things taken care of on their end. Because if we don't do this, then there's no way on earth that we'll ever get rid of the cheaters, because this is something I doubt strongly anybody else is taking the time. So send me messages, post comments on this thing, watch the video, favorite the video. I would say if you want to, you could even write to Mia at YouTube. Her email is editor@youtube.com and say, hey, maybe you should feature this video just so we can get the word out there. The more people that see this, the more people that see that there are cheaters out there, and these cheaters are making this site less enjoyable for the rest of us, the more that the problem will come up, and hopefully YouTube will say, hey, this is something that we should be policing and monitoring some. And so what I'm asking you to do is just to do all of that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate that. Again, I didn't want to post this video, but I said to myself, if one person is asking me, there's got to be a lot of other people that are thinking it. And so that is really all I have to say. thanks again, and I will have some great videos coming up in the near future. We just put some videos together today, actually. I'm still editing them, and I've got a couple with the green screen in our studio that I put together that should be fun to watch, too. So, until next time, some call me Jim. I care about the YouTube community. I hope you do, too. That's all I got. Later.